and welcome to the AgriBusiness Global Report. My name is Sarah Webb, and I'm editor of AgriBusiness Global and host for today's show. In this segment, I speak with Christina Limbourg, head of Biostimulant Projects for Certis Belchim, about the company's recent partnership with Greenhas, the attributes Certis Belchim looked for in a potential partner company, and more. Thanks for tuning in. Christina, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you talk to me a little bit about how the partnership between Certis Belchim and Greenhouse came about, and what does the partnership entail?
Yeah, well, that's quite a long story. We started our discussions with Greenhouse around 3 years ago, and that's also when we started as Certis Belchim to have a look at the biostimulants market. At the beginning, well, traditionally, Certis Belchim is a crop protection company. So at the time, we were looking at the biostimulants market to see if it makes sense to get involved in the biostimulants market or not, and if yes, to also develop our strategy. So at the time, we did a landscape study. We looked at the companies that are out there, and then, well, the conclusion was that we made a strategic decision to get involved in biostimulants. Now, as you know, there are many, many players in the biostimulants market. So as part of that, we then had to have a look, okay, how do we want to get involved in biostimulants? What do we want to do? And our conclusion was to focus on, looking for partners that can bring high value products, let's say with good scientific backing, clear mode of action. And as part of that, of course, Greenhouse was then a very good candidate. So that's basically the background. So the agreement with Greenhouse also very much covers then it focuses on the strengths of both companies. So on the one hand, Certis Belchim, also coming from crop protection, we're very much focused on field development, also registration and then distribution. Whereas Greenhouse strengths are really in R&D in the biostimulants market. They're very much a key player in biostimulants. They've been around for more than 40 years. So bringing really those two things together. And then Greenhouse, of course, they have global coverage and they've been, well, selling globally really for a very long time. So they're really bringing the biostimulants market specific know-how. So bringing those two together and then targeting to develop the best solutions, also based on science for the growers.
Okay, and building on that, can you talk to me a little bit more about some of the other attributes that Certis Belchim looked for in a potential partner company?
Well, there are many companies that have been around for a very short time. In biostimulants, of course, there's lots of opportunities, so lots of companies jump in, lots of startups, very, very good companies amongst them as well, of course. And then on the other hand, you have the more established companies like Greenhas. And for this case, we were really looking for a more established player that can also really bring the market background, but also with top-notch R&D facilities. So they've invested into this area and they really have built very impressive facilities. And they have all the scientific knowledge as well, also formulation knowledge to then help us develop or for us to develop together and complex formulations that with really clear mode of action to really bring the best solutions for the market. So it's you could put it that way, it's the R&D, it's the long established track records, it's formulation abilities or capabilities, and it's also production, and then it's also the track record to bring the right products to the market. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And do you have any advice for other companies who might be looking to enter into similar partnerships?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So for us, it's important to look at the synergies. And I believe you can also think about that for other companies too. So bringing really the best out of those companies. And then, if it makes sense, if you have a joint future vision, to then to start collaboration based on that. So, for example, I mentioned before a little bit, okay, Certis Belchim, we have the knowledge in, say, field development, registration, in distribution, and then also bringing the best from Greenhouse. And you can say the same for other companies, if they're looking for partnerships, what do they do best? And which parts in which parts can they work with an expertise from a different company, and that's pretty much how I would see it anyway. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, thank you so much, Christina, for joining me today. We really appreciate all of your insights.
Okay. Thank you very much. It was very interesting talking to you.
Thanks again for joining for this segment of the AgriBusiness Global Report. I'm your host, Sarah Webb. Until next time.